Inspire GY, and today we're speaking with Jermaine Slater, the owner of Tutors on Call and Slaters Gaming. Jermaine, thank you very much for agreeing to speak with us.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Jermaine is one of the 3 Guyanese who have been accepted into the U.S. State Department's Youth Leaders of America's Initiative Fellowship Program. Jermaine, what being accepted into this program means for you?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you once again for allowing me to be in this interview. The program, the Young Leaders of America Initiative program, it means, for me, it means progress. You know, as a young business person in Guyana coming up, I applied before. We heard about it, and I realized that it's going to assist me in propelling my entrepreneurial path further, gaining knowledge. So for me, it means progress. It means progress and assisting me in bettering myself as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, and also bettering the persons around, because I plan to use whatever knowledge I need, to educate the young persons of there.
You said that you had applied before. It is based on your reapplication that you were accepted. What pushed you to put in a second application?
Well, well, I saw basically, even though when I applied for it, I didn't get in, and I kept following this initiative. I saw that persons that actually got on board or got accepted to Wildlife, their businesses propelled. It's not a case where the initiative or this program gives you funding, millions of dollars. It's just that whatever program or the curriculum that they set out assisted these persons, and even from writing and here, assisted them with taking their business to another level. So I was determined to really find out or to see, what exactly is being done or thought within this initiative. So I would have kept trying until I got it. So that's what pushed me to that. Let's try a second time.
Now, I know that you are supposed to be going to the US in July. However, they would have started some amount of work with you already. Will you be able to see what the work they would have started with you, how it has been able to impact your business thus far?
Well, the little that I shouldn't say little, but the amount of work we've done so far with the curriculum guides is basically an online setting there. Right now is a virtual portion of it where they give you content. There's some courses you have to do. There's some activities that you have to finish, complete. So these activities, even though some of them are pretty straightforward, some of them are pretty simple, when you actually get down to doing them, you realize that these things in business, there's a lot of tricks to business and entrepreneurship. There's a lot of things that when you think you know this way, you're doing this way. When you actually get into their courses, they have courses in digital entrepreneurship. They have courses on diversity within the workplace and inclusion within the workplace and the business. So when you actually put in the work, get these activities done, these assignments, then you feel more comfortable as an entrepreneur. For me, I feel more confident that some things that I would try that they already thought to put in, I already implemented some of my business and I already see returns from a business perspective. So far, for me, I say so far so good. And that's just a tip of the iceberg that we get right now.
Now, for persons who will be watching this program and believe that, I don't necessarily need training on how to run my business because my business is already successful, what would you tell them?
Well, it depends. It depends on what they classify as successful business. But for me, regardless of if you believe your business is successful or not successful, I think education in the field of business and entrepreneurship is very important for any person that wants to be involved in business. Now, training helps you not only develop yourself, but it helps you in keeping your business together. And sometimes, most businesses fail when you just start. And these programs and the curriculums thus far, they've assisted you to know that if your business fails, there's other route you can take to revive it. There are things that you can do to probably scale or change your delivery. So for persons who think, they got it all together, for them, if they think they have it all together, they think they're successful, then fair enough. But there's a saying that, in the world of business, a lot of persons says, there's nothing like enough money. So there's nothing like enough information because the world is changing. And the Wildlife Initiative, from what I see, it is not like the olden days business tactics. They actually have incorporated modern day business and entrepreneurship courses into this initiative. So if you're really serious about your business, it might not be wildlife, but you should try to get updated information in entrepreneurship that will help you not only to be successful, but remain successful and keep growing. So I would encourage anybody to learn. You always try to learn. The greatest minds on earth are you say that the top businessmen and businessmen and women, you realize that they read a lot and they keep learning. So learning and education is always 100% good for anyone.
Now, if we can turn our attention to your businesses, you have two businesses that you're currently running basically side by side. That is Tutors on Farm and Slaters Gaming. What can you tell us about those businesses?
Okay, so I have about 4 small businesses running side by side. But Tutors on Farm and Slaters Gaming is what I use to actually apply and deal with people for wildlife. For Slaters Gaming was an idea of mine, but the pandemic brought it out. The pandemic had some positives. I know a lot of negatives around the pandemic, but I saw a lot of young entrepreneurs emerge from the pandemic. So Slaters Gaming was one of those businesses that emerged from there. Persons were at home, not doing anything. Persons were stressed. You don't know, a lot of families passing away. So with that in mind, I decided to create my 4th game under Slaters Gaming. It's the game even though it's a fun game, it's called Just Drink. The 4th edition is Guyanese edition. So a lot of persons play the game from right here in Guyana and even in the diaspora. A lot of persons states and all over the place play the game. They got grab up memories, and even for some of them they learn a lot about the Guyanese culture, how we speak, different slangs we have. It kind of created a little joy for persons in the pandemic in the early stages. So they really enjoyed it. We had another edition, the Caribbean Music Edition. It's not really, it's out there, but it wasn't marketed properly. Hence the reason why I really need wildlife to learn some tactics. So, but it wasn't I could say it wasn't marketed properly. That's my fault. However, but it's gonna persons who play this game, Caribbean Music Edition, they're gonna learn a lot about Caribbean music. You can learn the names of the singers. I try to put a lot of Guyanese artists, at least a song from each Guyanese artist, in the game. So it's more based on education of what kind of music the Caribbean listens to, and who are they singing, what these persons, they get the name, they get the Google, and then they might hear one song from them, and they decide, this is a good song, let me search for more. So it's a little bit more exposure for the artists. So for Slaters Gaming, those 2 games are that's for the initial stage. We have 2 educational games planned, academic education and mathematics for the kids and English language for the kids from primary to secondary. So that's in the works right now, but that's going to assist them with preparing for exams. They might not know it, they might play it, they're going to enjoy it, especially for the primary school kids, but they definitely, you're going to use questions and certain information from the Ministry of Education's curriculum, and we're going to implement it in the game. So once it's there and they're playing, they're actually doing revision. So the trick is to not have them feel like it's revision, just have them play the game. So for Slaters Gaming, for now, that's what we have. We have some other services planned, but for now, that's it. When it comes to Tutors on Call, is, as the name suggests, a tutoring service, and you could call us and get a teacher for basically any subject here, from primary to university. And we started, we had 30 teachers going out to the homes of persons in private tutoring. Of course, when the pandemic hit, that it took a toll on that aspect, but then it actually allowed us to diversify or to scale the business to online teaching, which most persons did. And we saw a high uptake of clients for that, especially in the primary level of education. So we know now that the pandemic is kind of, you can say it's going away a bit, you know, courses are open to the face-to-face teaching again. And then we still have virtual classes. So the pandemic, in a way, assisted me with Slaters in Tutors and call. I didn't know that we could have done virtual classes successfully, but we have it now. And then we're now recommencing our face-to-face teaching. So what I try to do is try to scale down on costs, because there are children out there and parents out there that can't afford, what should I say, the regular cost for one-on-one teaching, and it's very expensive. So what we try to get are teachers that subsidize, that actually love teaching. Most of our teachers are retirees. They love teaching. They're in the system a while, and they want to give back. So if someone might charge $6,000, $7,000 for one-on-one sessions, we may charge half that. The parents can afford it. I mean, it's a pandemic. A lot of parents are now getting their savings back up. So the parents can afford it, and the children get quality teaching. So going forward, that's what we try to do. We always try to subsidize our classes, ensure that the cost is kept to the bare minimum. And because initially it was not in, for me, there was not a lot of profit involved here with that business, even though it should be, it's a business. But it's just to get persons understand that when they pay the subsidized costs, whether it's to get extra teaching and to see the children improve, then they're not going to be concerned much with the cost anymore. They're going to understand that education is key, and then they're trying to afford it. But for now, we're trying to assist as much persons as we possibly can with Tutors and Call. Even Tutors and Call, we're trying to scale it into having accredited certified programs apart from primary and secondary. You know, it's oil and gas is here, so we're trying to get some oil and gas courses prepared. It's in the works. It's just to get it accredited, and then see where it goes from here. So there's a lot of things that work for both of the businesses right now.
If I can ask you, for Tutors on Call, would you be able to say what levels the students were at? I know that the pandemic took a toll on a lot of them. Teachers have complained that students have forgotten a lot of stuff and things like that. But where were they in terms of their studies?
Well, majority of the children, whatever level they were at, remember when the pandemic hit, let's say for instance a child in grade 2, late in that year they would have had to go to grade 3. Now, if they join my grade 3 lessons or the one-on-one sessions, and the teachers realize that this child is way back because they missed 2 terms. So most of them, you found that they have missed 2 terms and they could not have actually functioned properly in their new class. What we did on our end, we dialed it back. If you were supposed to be going into grade 3, but you missed 2 terms of grade 2, even though you're in grade 3, let's say in a public school, the work we do will be give you the grades 2, the last 2 terms that you missed, and we try to develop it from there. And based on how we teach and based on how the teachers are focused on the children, we saw a lot of developments in that area. So they developed quite quickly. We had some good wins with the last national grade 6 examinations we had. There's some kids that of course their grades are recorded in their school, but we were responsible for 500 and something grades and some 490s, 480s. But of course, it's not recorded against us, against Tutors and Cause. It's recorded against the school they attended. But at the end of the day, the children won. The parents were very, very happy, of course, and then even some parents know that child passed and they send out the kids to our institution right now to go online classes and one-on-one sessions. So the children were way behind, not of no fault to the schools that they were in, just the pandemic hit at the wrong time, but we assisted them and brought them up to speed of where they were supposed to be.
If we're going to look at location-wise, are not the students you have located in the city, or do you have students from other regions?
Well, during the pandemic, it increased our reach, or widened our reach, I should say. We have students from Bartico, we have students from Indian, we have students from Barbies, we had a couple from Mexico, and of course majority was from Region 4, but they were widespread. Even our teachers have been utilized. We have teachers in Barbies, we have 2 teachers way up the East Coast, moving to Michael, we have 2 very good teachers in Linden, and we have some teachers in Georgetown. So not only our clients come from as far as Kokwani area, so even our teachers are from across Ghana. Of course, virtual school and virtual teaching classes. I would not know because we had clients and teachers from those areas, but we put out our ads and persons reach out and then we had them. So there was a vast diversity of children in the class. There was sometimes some kids made friends in areas they never heard about. And there are some, we have our own Creoles, so they learn the different Creole, let's say from child from Burmese and Georgian and people. So the classes were a bit more fun, a bit more interactive, and I felt good. I felt good about that because me myself, sometimes as admin, we log into the classes just to ensure everything is flowing as planned and smooth as possible, and then you hear these kids enjoying this stuff and you laugh. So as far as Kokwani or research, we had a diverse set of kids in our institution.
When you look at where your businesses are today, when you started, is this what you expected?
To be honest, for Slaters Gaming, the expectation is quite what I had in mind. But then I realized that I could do so much more with it, and we have that in works. But for Tutors on Call, I didn't expect to be in this position. It's basically we sent Tutors out. Then we had online lessons, and then we had persons study for the national grade 6 examination with us from grade 5 to grade 6, and they did excellent. So I didn't foresee that for Tutors on Call, and then we registered with the Ministry of Education as a registered private school. So even if I had a building right now, I could have paid classes and have kids right through my school. So I have Tutors on Call is actually it's a private school for primary education. So where it was and to where it is now, it's it's vastly different, and in a positive way.
Given the successes you've had with virtual learning, do you feel you have the need for a physical building right now?
Yes. Well, even though the virtual learning is successful, with the program that I forcibly crafted for these teachers and students, it will require them, if you want maximum participation or maximum returns for the kids, it will require them to do in person. I mean, a lot of persons don't feel comfortable with virtual teaching, even though it helps to an extent, but it can be in person teaching like that. It's very tough. I mean, the teacher's right there as well. When it comes to work, it's Guyana. There's a lot of internet issues, there's a lot of blackouts. Well, the blackouts is easy, but during the 2020 time coming on, there's a lot of blackouts and stuff. So you find the children get cut off, either the internet dropped or they had power outage. So there's kind of the persons were kind of frustrated, the children were kind of frustrated, had to log back in and all this thing. But in person teaching, it's hands-on, you're in the face of the teacher. And the teacher gets to interact much more. They get to feel the children much more. And how we want them to teach is it's not the traditional classroom. Like our lessons, we don't pass 15 children, right? We don't have a room or a virtual classroom with 20 to 30 persons inside. It's about between 10 to 15. So the teacher can actually it's like they get in a partial one-on-one session, but the teacher can actually work with these kids individually. So when I do branch out into a physical school, it will be like that. A limited amount of kids in the classroom to a teacher, so we'll allow the teacher to be able to focus much more on their weaknesses, and it will be about two to three teachers per classroom. Because what I learned is that even though we're all in grade 3, we're not on the same level. They're slow learners, they're average learners, and they're high flyers. And so when a teacher is teaching, and then there's someone who's probably going to take a little bit longer to understand, is way behind, we want to have that teacher right there explaining to that person right there and then. So they won't feel left behind in the class.
Exactly.
They'll be taught right there and then from another teacher or part of the teacher is teaching also. So it's a little more technical, but the setup I have in mind is going to work well for kids in a physical setting.
Now, apart from you running your businesses, you have a 9-to-5 job. How have you been able to balance all of that?
Honestly, sometimes it's stressful. Any entrepreneur will let you know it's stressful. And for those even who their primary job is their business, they'll find it stressful, and even for us now, some of us who have 9-to-5s. So sometimes it's stressful. You have to focus on what you have to do at work, and then you definitely, when you get home in the evenings, you have to focus on what you have to do for your business, for yourself. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best of entrepreneurs, because a lot of times parents have to call me a lot of missed calls. I forget to check up on a parent. A client called me 2 weeks ago, then you had to call me 2 weeks after to say, listen, you are to provide a teacher. So because the business is not where I want it to be in terms of finances, so I can actually hire persons to take care of this administrative aspect, I have to do it by myself. So in that way you lose some business, but you don't want to close on your business altogether. You still got to keep pushing, you got to do as much as you can do, keep as much as you can. So when your business actually does well, at least improves financially. When you hire that admin staff, it's a smooth flow. So the balance between your work, your 9-to-5, and your business is most times it's kind of stressful. But you learn to it becomes your as an entrepreneur, it becomes the regular way of living for a while. So I'm fine with it so far.
Apart from running your own businesses, working a 9-to-5, you are also president of the Georgetown Mature Basketball Federation. Association. Sorry. How do you also make that work, and how important do you think sports is to academics?
Unfortunately, the pandemic again, I should say, ease my stress a bit when it comes to the Georgetown Amateur Basketball Association. It's only now that we're given permission to carry on sports, now that it might get a bit hectic. But during the pandemic, there's nothing going on much, so there's not a lot of stress there. Recently, we did some programs or some tournaments with some private promoters, which were successful. It's a bit stressful when you actually have to plan the tournament and be there to ensure it's going up. It goes as planned, but for the most part, there's some person that on my committee that assists me, and even though I'm the focal force and the person that has to find most of the time to get things done, and we still have a team that at least helps from time to time, because they themselves, a couple of them even own their own businesses also, so it's kind of a struggle there, but we have things under control on that end when it comes to basketball. In terms of sports, the importance of sports for me at least coming up is very important for that balance, and not just education. Sports can be educational, but it was very important to get involved in the sports, keep your physical, your body active, helps with your brain growth and all these things. I know one person here is sports, they just think probably basketball, football, cricket, and these things, but a lot of kids these days play a lot of video games. There's what you call esports right now, and that's also something that is helpful for these kids that are in school. It eases a lot of stress. I mean, I know some of them can be addictive, but sports in general and esports, they go on and on right now. There's some esports that has, I think it may be even in the Olympic sports soon, right? So I think any extracurricular activity that involves sports for kids is very important to get that balance and not just focus on the academics only. You find some kids who might think we're older. You find some kids have stress. A lot of stress kids are going through stress even either at home or in school. So I would encourage any parent to get their child involved in some kind of sport activity. It could even be martial arts for these things. So I think it's very important, especially for them to grow. It helps them to socialize. It helps with their coordination, and it helps with reducing stress, and they can focus on school even much more.
If if I can ask you, what would your advice be to young people who be looking at this video, but they're also hoping to start their own businesses?
Advice? Well, I would tell them go for it. In Guyana, as we were speaking earlier, a lot of persons don't follow their mind when it comes to business. They're ashamed. They think a lot of what people can say. This is probably a stupid idea. Persons, when they heard about me planning to do games, card games, board games, these things, it's like, bro, we getting involved, and they make sense as Guyana, but I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to execute it, and you have to do your market survey. I still went ahead, and truth be told, the first 100 games that I created in 2020, it was sold out within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of it hitting the market, it was sold out. People kept calling and calling and calling because they want to send to the States, they want to send to Canada, people in the UK want. So I had to move quickly to get some more to send out. So I would never have known the potential never have known what could happen. I knew the potential, what could happen if I didn't try. If I didn't take the risk to put myself under that stress to get it out there. So if you have, there are a lot of young people that are starting out there with a lot of, they have initiative. They have ideas, they want to get things done, but they're afraid to take that chance. In life, most times you have to take risks. You definitely have to take risks. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship comes with a lot of risks. In your own personal time, your personal finances, everything gets involved. But if you don't try, you will never ever know what can actually happen, the potential outcome. So I would encourage any youth or any young person to at least try. Try, especially those. I have a friend that is very talented in graphics, but he has a 9 to 5. It slows him up sometimes. So I encourage him and say, listen, you don't have kids, you don't have rent, especially in that position. You don't have dependents, and you can, as we say, you can tug it out. You don't have to go and get fancy food all the time and party every weekend. You can talk about it for a while to invest your money and your time into your business. Do it now. If you're young, you don't have that, do it now. Don't wait till you're older and you have kids and all these things to try and invest time. Do it now, and I don't think you regret it, because if you look back, you say at least you tried. If you didn't do it, you're going to say you should have tried.
Exactly.
So, exactly. So it's best you do it. That would be my advice.
Well, Jermaine, it's been nice talking with you, and I know we at Business Inspire wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I hope that these are conversations we can have more frequently.
Well, definitely. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the invite for the interview also. And whenever we can wrap it up as much as possible in business, especially when we get back from the US in July, I'm certain I'll have much more to share, especially to young folks. So thanks for being here, and I hope to be here again.